Peace and blessings. This is your brother Gabar coming to you live from the Boogie Down Bronx. This is IAMFITPodcast. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button to help the algorithm. We're gonna be having a conversation today about what's going on with Kanye West. Excuse me, Ye. I know he changed his name. Let me do one more thing here to put the chat before I go on my rant. There we go. Shalom, shalom, brothers. Let me just fix this real quick. All right. All right, there you go. There you go. Shalom and peace, brothers and sisters, for joining me. Today we are live in the Boogie Down Bronx. I'm going to go into a little rant today. I'm going to play some videos, fair use. We all seen probably the interview with Kanye West. And today I want to be speaking candidly, openly, and respectfully, but I'm not pulling any punches in what I feel, what's going on, and what's been going on about this Jewish question, in particular with our people. So I want to play some videos because I want to kind of set the stage so people can understand where I'm coming from. I'm pretty sure everybody and their mother has seen the interview or parts of it. I want to play some here and there. Certain things that I want to critique and certain things I want to talk about that, to be honest with you, I'm pretty fed up, tired, frustrated. I've been hearing this thing since the 90s. Nothing has changed. And I don't think it's healthy. And I'm going to go into what I'm referring to. So before we start, let's go and let's play the video. Fair use. I may stop it from here and there and comment. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I was going to play a little snippet of it in certain parts that I believe is essential to this conversation today. Fair use.
We made the White Lives Matter tees, and then when I put up the tweet, the DEF CON tweet, nah, he ain't releasing the tee because he's Jewish, and I'm like.
And for those that may not know about the DEF CON tweet, he tweeted that something about I think I talked about it on the last show, that he's tired, he's gonna go to bed, but tomorrow morning he's gonna go DEF CON 3 on the Jewish people, and then that tweet got removed. So he's referring to that.
See, this is my exact point that I'm making. Like, Jewish people have owned the black voice, whether it's through us wearing a Ralph Lauren shirt, or it's all of us being signed to a record label, or having a Jewish manager, or being signed to a Jewish basketball team, or doing a movie on a Jewish platform like Disney. And we understand it's like, I respect what the Jewish people have done and how they brought their people together. You know, they came into money through the lawyers when after Wall Street, when all of the like the Catholics, they wouldn't divorce people. Right. So the Jewish lawyers came and they were willing to divorce people. That's when they first came into their money. So like, say with me and Jay, with our culture, with the darker Jews. First of all, because you got
it just happens when anybody starts talking deep.
Okay. Yeah. With the darker Jews, the 12 lost tribes of Israel, who we are, because we Jewish also. We from Africa also. We're the blood of Christ. So
there's a lot of black artists now, in particular in Hollywood, in the West. Kanye, Nick Cannon, who else? Even Ice Cube made a comment about, I think he showed an ancient picture of the Israelites in Egypt, and clearly there was people, this is No Audio Elder 1-2. No audio with the me, or no audio with Mr. Kanye. Let me see if
we're not just black. We are.
Okay, I hear it my end. Just is anybody else has an issue with audio? Does anybody else has an issue with audio? If I'm coming in clear, you just give me the thumbs up. We hear you. Okay, okay. Both good. Okay, okay. So maybe reboot your computer. Maybe it's an issue in your end. I hear perfect. Okay, outstanding. Okay. Okay, outstanding. Okay. So let me touch on what he says so far. In every culture, in every race, whether it be the Chinese, the Italians, Africans, Middle Eastern, Hispanics, African American, Jewish, Russian, there's a culture in how what they deem important or what they deem valuable. And I'm no longer going to be saying, or am comfortable just putting everybody in a box. The Chinese people are like this. The Arabic people are like that. And yes, there is some truth to some stereotypes. And we're going to go into that. And we should be comfortable with it, and we should be okay with it. However, the way I feel these days is that I don't think it's healthy, especially with people of color that believe and have done research or have discovered that they are part of the tribes of Israel and they are people of the book, right? That we begin to attacking Jewish people as if they are all in on it. They all know they're not the Jews. They all come together and decided to lie to people of color and take their identity. I don't think that's what's going on. And we're going to go into what I'm saying. Because earlier in the previous show, I mentioned that I think the problem that we're not looking at is that in any culture, they will tell you that you're God-chosen people, that you're the image of God. It would sometimes can psychologically damage some people to the point that they start looking down on other races, other people, because they're not the chosen, we are. And before you start criticizing them, I know many brothers in the Hebrew Israelite community that are saying the same thing, are looking down on the Goyams, looking down on the Gentiles. We're going to rule over them. We're going to enslave them. We're better than them. So is it the people or is it the culture that someone been raised by or in? And once we keep every generation, like I've been hearing this since the 80s and 90s about the Jewish people that rule the world, blah, blah, blah. They control everything. They would trust me. They got their hands on everything. I don't think that's healthy to teach your kids that. I'm going to tell you why. And not only do I want to unpack why it's not healthy for you to teach your kids, but I want to also unpack why you believe that so much and why you keep repeating that so much, those that do. I want to unpack this for a little bit. So let's hear a little bit of Kanye because I want to unpack a lot tonight. Fair use.
Are Jew, just like the Jewish people, and now we're coming into money. But the main thing is, I got to drink the Douce over the Hennessy as the first step to us coming together, like how the Jewish people came together. But we couldn't even talk about. I remember Ben Horowitz called me after 444 and said, I don't know about Jay giving up Jewish business secrets. And these secrets,
we was talking about building up the properties and stuff like that.
Yeah,
on 444.
These secrets they not finna be a secret no more. Like if somebody tells me something, it's like, yo, I want to tell you this, but it's a secret. I'm like, I'm not your personal hard drive.
And you know what? I'm not knocking the Jews or the Jewish community by keeping certain things to themselves. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I remember when even Bruce Lee, when he began to teach martial arts, Kung Fu and Wing Chun to the Westerners, the people from the Far East had a problem with him because he was like, well, this is our secret. This is our culture. You know, this is how we defend ourselves. The martial arts should be among ourselves to give us an edge. I don't have a problem with that. Because truth be told, we'll probably be doing the same thing. Let me give you a layman's example. Hip hop, rap. I have heard plenty and many of rap enthusiasts saying this is our culture. We should not have a white rapper. Look at Eminem. He got some flack. Or other white rappers that were out there. I'm not saying that they don't get accepted for the generally speaking, but they have to pay their dues. In the same way, if you go into another culture that is not your own, you have to pay your dues because you're not part of the culture. Every nation is a little racist, including us. Everybody is a little racist. Because the term racist is, by definition, is someone who is for the betterment of your race. The empowerment and the betterment of your race. Now, prejudice is a different thing. But everybody, if they really are honest with themselves, is a little racist. I'll prefer my daughter to marry somebody that looks like me. If she doesn't, I'll work around it. I'll learn to accept it, blah, blah. Well, you know, not in my household. It's my way or the highway, but that's a different story. But what I'm saying is, generally speaking, most people will prefer somebody within their own community to marry their daughter or son. And yes, if it doesn't happen, then you accept it, blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, you prefer. And if Jewish people had these so-called secrets, if you keep it real, are there really secrets? You know, they say that if you want to keep a secret, you put it in a book. Because, you know, people of color don't like to read, right?
Like, if you want to be a secret, don't tell me. I'm not here to keep nobody's secrets because it's only the truth that's going to set us free. And what they do is the Jewish community, especially in the music industry, they'll take, in the entertainment period, they'll take one of us, the brightest of us, right, that can really feed a whole village, and they'll take us and milk us till we die, and then Stevie Wonder's son got to get a job, right? But Cameron Azoff got a job at Apple. He's already set up because of the way Azoff is connected.
And I do agree with him that the industry are made up by a bunch of sharks. But that's the business. What's that group, that female group? That TLC. They have beef with their manager, and their manager was a black couple, I believe, right? I think she was, I forgot the sister's name. And they were robbing them as well. And this is what people need to understand. Because people want to point to this boogeyman, them, the Illuminati, the secret society, the World Economic Forum, them, the Jewish people, them, the Russians, them, the Chinese, them. It's not them, it's all of us. Every single human being, if you put yourself in the wrong predicament, you will probably fall. Because by nature, we are greedy. We are selfish. We are evil by nature. This flesh, it's no good. So if we were in the same predicament as the Jewish people or what have you, we'd probably be doing the same thing. So we have to get away from getting involved in emotional perspective when we look at these issues and separating ourselves from ourselves and looking at from the outside in. You know, I had brother Travis, I think on Sunday we talked about life insurance. And there were some comments that mentioned that, oh, life insurance is a scam and things of that nature. And yeah, there's probably a lot of scammers in life insurance. That's why you got to know how to read what you read, know what you're reading. Ask questions, do your research. Because the system is set up that you're going to need someone, an expert, a licensed person to educate you on these things. The system is set up to set up gatekeepers. Now you could complain and say this is a scam and do nothing, or you could do your due diligence and work and study. Even Brother Travis say, hey, you know, when I was in a scenario when I was getting started in this life insurance, I got scammed. I didn't get the best deal, but now I know better. But if you're not in it, if you're not willing to lose, if you're not willing to get scammed, do research, get a lawyer and get another lawyer to check that lawyer to make sure that one lawyer is not scamming you. That's what you need to do if you get in the game. That's the world we live in. And it's not the white people's fault or the Jewish people's fault, it's humans' fault. Us human beings will be doing the same thing. So we're complaining about the white power structure now, right? But let's go into history. Was life that great when we had the Babylonians in power? What about the Egyptian? What about the Assyrians? What about, you understand? Hey, wait, before we go to other nations, was life that great when the Hebrew Israelite were in power? Let's talk about it. David slept with, Uriah the Hittite. Solomon started worshiping other gods. You could count in your hand how many righteous kings you could mention in the Bible. And don't get me started with the northern tribes. Oh, my God. The problem is not that race or that group or this group. The problem is us, the flesh. And once you understand that, you remove all these stereotypes. Oh, these people are like this, these people are that. They don't trust them. No. Don't trust human beings, regardless their phenotype. Because we all come come short of the glory of God. Fair use.
We have to make our own connections. That's what I saw. What I loved about it, I love Dove just as a human being.
And this is the guy from Adidas?
Dove is from American Apparel.
Okay.
But I'm talking about put out my White Lives Matter tee. The White Lives Matter tee don't say nothing. It don't say DEF CON or nothing on it, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, put it out. And he's telling me like, yo, I want you to visit the Holocaust Museum. And I was like, yo, I want you to visit Planned Parenthood. That's our Holocaust Museum. I'm like, yo, I put my life on this.
And no disrespect to the Jewish people, but these are things that I do agree with Ye. I understand Jewish people. When someone attacks you, one of you, the community stand up together. I commend you for that. But you also have to stand up with somebody in your community also do wrong. In the same way, people of color get criticized that when a white cop kills a black man or woman, we all in the television. But in Chicago, we killing each other. In New York, we're killing each other. I heard a report in New York, there's more people dying than them being born in New York. So as a race, as a species, as the sons and daughters of Adam, because we all come from Adam and Eve. We all believe that. Even science says that. Even science says that we come from one man and one woman, they call her Eve or what have you, African woman in Africa or what have you. Whatever you guys believe in that side of the aisle, the evolutionists, we all come from one source. The Bible's been saying that for thousands of years. And one thing I have to say about this thing, what Kanye was, what he's expressing. I understand his frustration. I understand he's in the belly of the beast. Everybody he has to double check to make sure somebody is not trying to double cross him. And because Jewish people, and this is something that is basically true, and everybody knows this, the Jewish people, for the most part, have a pretty strong hold on Hollywood. Jewish people, for the most part, started Hollywood, for the most part. And Jewish people have gifts. That's why I believe that certain stereotypes are true. Right? You want a good lawyer? Get yourself a good Jewish New York lawyer. That's always been a thing. Everybody says that, get yourself a good Jewish lawyer. They know what they're doing. There's certain groups that have certain gifts. And what the black man and Hispanic man need to understand is that we need to learn how to be managers as much we are learning how to be the talent. We want to be the next rapper, the next actor, the next athlete. That's the talent. But what you guys need to understand, just because you're the talent does not mean that you have the skills to manage your career. So these secrets that Kanye or Ye is talking about, these are secrets that you could just read in a book. There's schools for that. There are institutions you can learn. And the best way to learn is find out how somebody's doing it, get his coffee, serve, and be an intern, and be a sponge. Stop complaining. Stop saying the Jewish people this, the white people that, and learn the secrets and learn how to manage. That's what the power is at. See, what the power they be in the business mind, guys, it's the business mind, not the talent mind. The talent mind, they want to be the best. The talent want to break records. The talent want to be popular and be the best at what they do. But the manager, those that manage, they create the platform, the stadiums, the institution to show the talent where they're going to shine. So, Mr. Kanye, and this is the thing that drives me crazy about people of color. We complain, but we don't do anything. This man right here is worth $6 billion. He is considered the richest black man in American history, not world history, but American history. There's never been a black man richer than this man right here in American history. He's talking about himself, that he believes he's a Hebrew. He mentioned Ice Cube. He mentioned also Nick Cannon. Now, right there, I don't know how much Nick Cannon is worth. Ice Cube is worth. I'm pretty sure it's a few $1 million. You could probably look that up, guys. But we probably talking about billions of dollars collectively. Why you guys don't start a movie studio and stop portraying black Hebrews in these movies? I'll support it. It's time for us to stop complaining about the managers managing us. And it's time for us to learn how to manage us. So I heard rumors that Ye is, I think he's buying, I don't think it's Tumblr. What is that? I know he's buying something. I think, let me see here. I think I saved it. I want to make sure. Where are you? I think he's buying Floyd. Where are you? Let me see if I... Floyd's okay. Let me. I know he's buying the conservative. Look that up, guys. I know he's buying a social media. I forgot the name of the social media, but he's buying a social media, and that is the equivalent of Twitter. It's like the there you go. Patler, I think it's called. I'm probably mispronouncing Patler. Whatever it is, right? Partler. There you go. Partler. That's the move you need to do, Kanye. You know, you about freedom of speech, buy a social media. You upset and you cannot speak your mind or whatever. Do a music studio, do your own record. Start separating yourself from the managers that you don't like, and you begin to learn the tricks. And what people of color need to stop doing is, and I'm guilty of that, so let me be fair, but saying, hey, we need to come together, right? But never really come together. And not only come together, but understand that we have to learn how to play our role. And that's the biggest problem, that we all want to be in charge and we all want to do it our way, and everybody has to do it my way. And you want to do it your way. We can't get along, so screw you, I'm out of here. So I like what he's saying. I like what Ye is saying, but he has to get away from this idea or this thing that what Jewish people are doing in particular is against black people. They just doing. They just, that's what they do. And the outcome is the outcome. And I always tell this to my Jewish friends, you guys are a victim of your own success. And my advice to Jewish people is say, yeah, let's own it. Yeah, we own Hollywood. We have a good influence in Hollywood. Not all of us, but for the most part, own it. And say, yeah, because we work hard. Yeah, because, we look out for each other. There's nothing wrong with that. But once you start canceling people and start calling anti-Semite, it's not working for you guys. It's getting old already. Not everything is an anti-Semite thing. But on the other hand, I understand that just because one Jewish person has done something wrong is not a reflection on every Jewish person. I get it. To go back to Kanye, we have to, Mr. Ye, I like what you're saying, brother. I understand what you're saying, but we have to get away from these rhetoric of exposing them. What there's to expose, everybody know. The Jewish people, they're smart people. They know what they're doing. They unify them collectively. They have a good lobbying scenario in America. Instead of complaining about it, let's do the same thing. Fair use.
That's what's happening. By the way, we can't be mad at them, and you can't call me anti-Semitic for calling out. You can't call me anti-Semitic for saying I'm going DEFCON 3.
I think what you said though is important though.
That sounds pretty anti-Semitic, except for the fact that I am Jew.
And you said you can't be mad at them because you want to do the same.
You know what?
That's an important thing to say.
I can't be, but I am, because I'm jealous, because I'm a human being.
And you want the same
and I'm a competitor. I want my people to rise up like the Jewish people. I'm a competitor. I feel that if I am not the leader, I'm one of the strongest, most vocal.
So compete. Do not hate the player, hate the game. Compete.
Leaders, and I feel Lauren is the leader. I feel like there's multiple people that are leaders in this community, right? And I'm jealous of the Jewish community. I'm jealous of how the fact that they do not abort their people. I'm jealous of how the fact.
So why not say that as opposed to
I'm saying it right now. It's coming now. Let me say it, bro. It's coming now. It's coming out. Let me say it. You have to get to it. I'm jealous of the fact of how they don't abort their babies. I'm jealous of the fact of how they stay with their wives. I'm jealous of the fact of how they do business together. I'm jealous of the fact of how they read their contracts and understand their contracts. I'm jealous of the way Jewish people do business. And I'm jealous, not just for me, but for our entire culture. And I believe that once we rise up, that we will have a position to be able to serve God, because it's not about taking over the world. God runs the world. We need to be in service to God, and we all need to be in service to God. So I'm jealous. And you know what? Because when I would speak on the Khaled and Drake record, why I speak on that? Out of jealousy. When I was speaking on Drake, why I speak on that? Out of jealousy. While I'm speaking on the Jewish culture, why I'm speaking on that? Out of jealousy. I'm jealous of the Jewish culture.
I don't have all the answers, man. And this is the reason why I kind of tapped out from the organized religion system, which is a very powerful system, by the way. It has the potential to deliver us from our condition, spiritually, economically, socially, in every sense of the word. However, though, if we continue the same rhetoric of this boogeyman, of, well, they're against us, the Rothschilds, the Illuminati, the Jewish people, blah, 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 and let's just wait for Jesus to come save us. I think a lot of that rhetoric comes from low self-esteem, not having the ability or not having the confidence of going out and competing with others. I'm not blaming, or I'm not mad for the Chinese Communist Party to be in their interest or to act upon their interest. I'm not mad on the Jewish people for doing the same, or the Italians or the Russians or anybody. The question that I'm asking, why are we not doing it? Why are we not doing it? And the reason why I started this podcast, and an organization, an idea of man going God's way, is because the power of unity is a powerful force, whether it be for right or for wrong. But unity is a powerful force. So I'm just looking for my wolf pack. I'm looking for the people that get it, that's not caught up into the blaming game. Because I hear it a lot. Oh, if you try to do that, brother, they'll shut you down. If you try to do this, they'll shut you down. If you try to do that, they'll stop you. It's damaging. It's damaging to us as a collective, but also as individuals. What we have to start teaching our children is that there's nothing you cannot do if you work hard. Encouraging our children to conquer the world. Love your neighbor. Don't be ashamed of being a little racist. Let me say it. Don't be ashamed to say, you know what? Look out for yourself, your family. Look out for your people first. Don't be ashamed about that. I'm not. I understand here in America, we in this thing about colorblind and the best person who is qualified should win. And I'm all for that. But that's not the reality. That's not the reality. And the problem I have with our people is that we get caught up with this boogeyman mentality. And I want to kind of touch on another video that
Kanye, we should have.
I'll touch on this in a few minutes. That we have to stop this as well. We'll create this they are against us mentality. And then we begin to start looking at different conspiracy theorists out there. You know, I got friends and believe that, unto this day, believe that, what's that thing in Columbine? Oh, Sandy Hook, excuse me. Was a shooting, some form of actors and things of that nature. The same thing that, Mr. Alex Jones is getting sued for. And this is my theory. I want to be a conspiracy theorist. I'm going to throw my conspiracy. I think that the guys that put that documentary together called We Need to Talk About Sandy Hook are probably disinformation folks. Either they are sent by the powers that be, or they just a bunch of nut jobs making up stuff because, they just want to come up with some, controversial conversation or thing about Sandy Hook. I know people personally that they believe that the Texas shooting was fake with no evidence. And I'm saying this because here we go again. Here you have Kanye West having conversation, right, about people of color being of the Hebrew Israelite stock, right? And let me explain. Let me speak to the Jewish people, the Jewish community, so you can understand and sympathize and empathize for somebody else outside of your community. I want you to understand and relate and try to look at it from our perspective. There are people claiming to be descendants of the tribes of Israel throughout the whole entire universe. World, excuse me. There's people, I believe, in Japan. They believe they're descendants of Israel. There's people in Africa, the Ipu, the Shanti, the Alambas, the Ethiopic Jews. There's people there's from Spain, like Sephardic Jews. There's people in Yemen, the Yemenite Jews, and so forth and so on. There's people here in America. Many African Americans has done their roots because we know now that West Africa was a hotbed for Judaism and Jewish practices or Hebrew Israelite practices. And there's many history and books that has come out on that. So many African Americans have either done their DNA or have done their own family research or just read Deuteronomy 28 and are convinced to say, hey, I think I'm a Jew. I think I am also of the tribe of Israel. And because what happened is, this is what happens. When they start seeing the white Jewish people, because from all the people I just mentioned, from China, from Japan, from all the Middle East, they are claiming to be the children of Israel. You guys are the only one that are getting notoriety for it. For the most part. So there's a level of jealousy that comes in, and envy and resentment that comes in with people of color. You'll see that from all the people that are claiming to be the tribe of Israel, it's the white people, the lighter skinned Israelites, or people that are claiming to be Israelite. Now, for the record, and YouTube, please don't cancel me. I believe that the likelihood of the people of Europe, specifically of the Eastern European Ashkenazi Jewish population, are mostly converts, European converts. I could be wrong, but that's the research that I have explored and I have witnessed and things of that nature. But is it possible some of you guys could be of the descendants of Israel? Maybe. I'm not. It's not that serious to me, but that's my belief. So, but at this point, let's put those differences aside because I'm pretty sure a lot of the other people that I mentioned, people in China and Japan and so forth, so on, some of you guys, and I have read some articles, and some of you guys don't believe that they are the descendants of Israel. And that's okay. Does it make you evil? Does it make me evil? We have just a different of opinion. But let's just say hypothetically, all of us, every single body who is claiming to be a descendant of Israel is right in his act. Can you see the resentment that comes in? Because we are living, at least here in the Western parts of the world, in a European-dominated society. Europeans are the much larger group, 62% of the population here in America, right? And most of the TV shows and movies and commercials are aired by European. I'm not complaining. I'm just reporting the news and just telling you that's what it is. And naturally, that will be because you guys are the majority group, 62%. So what people of color need to stop doing is understanding that we are not the majority. We are the minority in this country. Well, to be fair, there's an argument about that. But I believe that the majority of people in America are from European stock, and that's okay. It is what it is. The question I'm asking to my brothers, my brown and black brothers, is this. Okay, when we look at all the foreign folks that come in from other countries, including Africa, they are surpassing people of color that have been in this country since slavery. These folks look like us, may have a different accent, may have a different culture, but they look like us. What's the difference? Culture. I just mentioned that. The culture. Within the Nigerian culture, if you do the DNA of most African Americans, they will end up somewhere in West Africa. Nigeria, Ghana, the Ivory Coast. And when Africans come to this country, they are surpassing African Americans. Why? Culture. Now, when some black folks, whether it be from the Hebrew Israelite community and even from the conscious community, I have heard them say, oh, those Africans don't like us. That's why they're doing better than us. Now, is their culture. A lot of these foreigners, they will come into this country. A lot of them are working hard, 2-3 jobs. They all living in one apartment on top of each other. They're saving their money. Okay, they're not spending their money in the clubs and fancy cars. And 2-3 years later, they have a store. They have a business. And yeah, they struggle. And yes, they go through their hardship, but they are still motivated to do the right thing and get out of poverty. We're complaining and we are blaming everybody else, but we're not blaming ourselves. Lack of discipline, lack of living beyond or under your means. Yeah, not unifying, coming together and starting a business together. We can't get along. We can't be in one room without getting an argument. That's not the Gentiles' fault. That's not the other nation's fault. It's our fault. And I'm saying that about this conspiracy theory thing because here we go again. One of the things that I'm very critical about, especially these days, is us only saying things that we could prove. It's not what you know, it's what you could prove. Because Kanye West, if you hear the interview, I don't think he was anti-Semitic in any way. He was just saying, hey, we have to, for the most part, he said he's jealous of the Jews, how they stick together. He's jealous of the Jewish community, how they don't get divorced, how they don't abort their kids and things of that nature, right? So I'm glad he's having these conversations, but he has to be very careful by throwing in things that is not necessary and, more importantly, he cannot prove. He made some statements about Floyd, the gentleman that got killed by the cop. The cop put a knee in the guy's neck, and then he passed away. And yes, he was probably dealing with drugs or whatever, things of that nature. But that's the point, that the people of color within the hood, they are not looked upon the same light as other people in different areas. And yes, cops do abuse people within the ghetto and within the urban areas. So I'm not condoning that in any way. But here we go again. Now the family is suing, or not. They're not suing, but they are considering suing Kanye West over him saying that, or giving some speech about that perhaps what happened didn't happen, right? In regards of Mr. Floyd. So let's hear a little bit about what's going on with George Floyd's family in regards of Kanye.
Kanye West has gotten into more hot water, this time after he suggested a fentanyl overdose caused George Floyd's death, not homicide. The attorney who represents the Floyd family, Lee Merritt, signaled they are considering suing the rapper. Ye's recent tweets and controversial interviews even drew the attention of former President Donald Trump, who called Ye's actions, quote, crazy, and said he needs help.
Wow, how interesting.
It's bad when Trump calls you crazy.
Yes, it can be bad. Now, I don't, I think the likelihoods.
And that's from the show called The Hill. The show is called The Rising. It's a decent news show that goes into topics that other people don't go. I like it. I don't always agree with it, but I like it. But I'm going back to what I was saying earlier in regards of Mr. Kanye. And this is the whole argument about, colleagues that I know and I was debating with and arguing about this Sandy Hook thing and this Texas shooting thing. That it's fake. It should not be a thing. It's all fake. They're all actors. And I told them, first of all, it's dangerous for you to say that because you don't know that that's the case. And the pseudo nonsense documentary that you are watching or you're telling me to watch is not sufficient evidence for me or any court to convict. And you being in a position of influence saying this is dangerous. And now what's happening is that if you're saying that these things are fake, now the families are suing you. Now the question I need to know, Mr. Ye, what is the benefit of you mentioning that? How is that going to help our people? All it's going to do is make you look crazier because they already, typecast you as a crazy person. That doesn't help you. And brothers and sisters, be careful what you put in social media because social media, this box called social media, they have figured out a way, whether by chance or by design, to circumvent the Constitution. This is all private companies, and they go by a different constitution. When you're in a private scenario, you don't have rights outside of the agreement that they give you. That's why every time you sign up, you have to check here, write or click the agreement form. So that's why I believe that the best way to fix this problem is capitalism. Meaning, Ye is talking about buying Partler. Elon Musk is talking about, I think he's going through with it. I think that he's going through buying actually Twitter. And the reason why I believe that freedom of speech should be even protected in these social media, and I believe in the future they may pass some laws. I don't know. But even if they don't, who cares? The market will fit itself. So, Mr. Kanye, I'll commend you if you do bipolar, and I'm going to support you. Now, if this is my concern in the danger of having a free platform, I believe there should be some some skylines, that if you say certain things, there should be some level of structure of you being able to prove it. And there should be some level of or understanding that if this is a theory of yours, you should say this is my theory. But if you're presenting a theory as it's a fact, it's dangerous. And the problem with that is there's a lot of gullible people out there. But even if it's dangerous, and I want to make it clear, I'm still for freedom of speech. I'm for, if you ask me, each social media, public square institution, company, corporation should be under the same rules of the Constitution. I believe that. I believe that law should be passed. There's the same freedom of speech I have in the barbershop, I should have in the social media square. Is it going to happen? Probably not. However, though, I think free market, if you don't like it here, you could go there. That's why I'm also a member. I got, Rumble as a backup. I'm going to be going there live as well. I just got to make sure you guys go there, subscribe, because I need 100 subscribers to go live. The link is below. As a backup. Because the bottom line is, until they pass the law that each social media will has to go under the law of the Constitution, we're going to always go through these problems. Because each social media has its own FCC scenario. I remember when Howard Stern was always going against the FCC and certain words you could not say. And he was saying the same thing about freedom of speech. It's a private company. Private companies have a different guidelines, a different standard, a different a system outside of the Constitution. We got to get over it. We have to know how to play smart. We have to know how to operate. So to go back to I was saying earlier, Kanye, listen, if you can't prove certain things, don't even mention it. It's not even worth it, because they're going to be looking for stuff like this. Or now he thinks George Floyd, it was all fake, yada, yada, yada. And I don't think that's what you say, but that's how they're going to apply it. Now, listen, in my book, if you believe that George Floyd thing was fake, I don't think it is. That's what you're saying. I believe you do have the freedom to say it. But I don't have the power to create a social media. You do. So I commend you to you thinking about buying Parler, and you should do it. I'll support it. But let me ask you a question, Kanye. Will you support somebody in your social media promoting Satanism? You're a Christian. Will you allow Mr. Little Nas do part 2 of, his video, assimilating sexual acts with Satan? Will you condone that? I know I would have a problem if I own a social media. I would not want that in my social media. So you see what I'm saying? The bottom line, the problem is not fighting with Twitter or YouTube or Instagram. Is creating your own platform. People of color need to create their own platform. I hear a lot of complaints about what's his name? The guy that Steve Perry, what's that African American brother who did the studio in Atlanta? I forgot his name. He did, he does those movies. Mama, there's, why do good girls like bad boys? And to play it, what's his name? Perry something. I forgot. You guys will probably know what I'm talking about. Oh, that he's catering to the black women in churches, or he's dressing up like a woman. He's promoting men in a feminine energy. You're probably right. The way to fix that is for masculine men, heterosexual men. Terry Perry. Yes, there you go. Thank you, sir. Tyler Perry. There you go. Tyler. People complaining about him too, right? That he's feminizing men, showing men in these comic relief type of situation, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not hating in any way, shape, or form, but what I'm saying is it's time for us to stop complaining and start coming together and building your own platform. And you don't have to start big. You don't have to be, a billionaire 6 times over like Kanye. Learn little things. Learn the tricks. If you want to figure out how the Jewish people do their thing, how the Chinese people do the thing, learn under them. Become an intern. Stop complaining. Shut your mouth and open your ears and write some notes. If you want to be successful, just duplicate success. How do you do that? Okay, I'm going to do that. No, not I want to do it different. I'm going to do it my way. I know everybody's been doing it this way for decades, but I'm going to be different. Okay, good luck with that. Good luck with that. So in closing, guys, and if you guys want to call in, the number is 646-450-2013. 646-450-2013. Slavery is over, guys. It's time for us to build. Come together and let's have a conversation. And if you do not know about something, a subject, not a video that you saw, not you heard it from someone, shut your mouth. You shut your mouth. The whole thing about life insurance, Brother Travis, I know that there was a comment that somebody said, "Oh, life insurance is a scam," and things of that nature. And I want to discuss it because I believe that there, life insurance is a way for people to preserve generational wealth, to leave something for your children. And there's ways for you to not only leave something for your children, but also benefit from it as a retirement plan as well. It's sort of business, or God forbid something goes wrong, is a cushion. So anybody who says it's a scam, you got to bring your receipts. I don't want to hear, I saw a video 3,000 years ago. I got a cousin who told me it was a scam. Because the problem with our community, we keep repeating lies and misinformation. That by the time it goes all our community, it becomes something else. We have to start exploding and start saying, okay, how the people are getting wealthy? How are these people getting successful? What are they doing? And pick their brains. Ask questions. Listen more than talk. Our people love to talk, man. Shut up sometimes and just listen. So Kanye, I wish you luck in your endeavors. Be smart. You are a testament that things are getting more better. Let me explain. Who would have thunk it, right? I know if I was a kid in the 90s and somebody would have told me, hey, Carlos, there's going to be a guy, an African-American rapper, that he's going to be a little crazy. Now, Kanye, with all the respect, you are a little crazy, but I'm crazy too, so it's okay. We're a little crazy. We're a little cuckoo. Yeah, let me use a better word. You're eccentric. I like that. You think outside the box. And the evidence that has been working for you, you're a billionaire 6 times over. So I'm not in any way, not knocking your hustle. But if you would have, if he was talking about certain things about the Jewish people, then this and that, the other, I would have been like, oh, that's no way, bro. They would. See, I was like that way thinking back then. They would have killed him, the Illuminati. They're gonna get. There's no way, bro. I was brainwashed myself too. Slavery is over, folks. Racism is always gonna be here because everybody's a little racist. Just get over it. The Italians was racist against the Guineas, or the Irish against the British against the Irish. Racism even happened within Latinos. It's just part of life. And yes, we are getting less racist every generation. That is true. But it's always going to be there. It's not a factor anymore. So you step away and step outside and don't deal with brothers and sisters, but especially brothers, because I'm talking to the men. The people are always negative. Always people that are scared and always talking about conspiracy stuff, and look what they did, and they poisoned the water and the air and the food, and it's not healthy, guys. And a lot of those guys, I think they get caught up with speaking with all those conspiracy theories because they're not happy how their life turned out, and they need somebody to blame. Now listen, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I believe people conspire against people all the time. But I don't longer believe it is this like I want to control the world kind of thing. I believe that the reason why people are conspiring is for one thing and one thing only. You know what that is, folks? Dinero. Money. And the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. Not some, not most, not a lot, all evil. Listen, man. I've been hearing since I was a kid, oh, they're trying to depopulate us, destroy us. I don't believe that. You know why? Because we making their money. Who's going to work for them? What was that? The back street, the stone that there was in Ohio or something that blew up a few months ago. Some mysterious stones and all that. Oh, they want to bring the population to yada, yada, yada. I don't believe that. I believe people are corrupt, but they just corrupt because of money. So I believe, yeah, war gets started because there's money in war. Pharmaceutical rush and cut corners in these vaccines because they want to make money. It's all about money, chasing the dollar. It's not about ruling the world and they want to kill all of us. I don't believe in all that anymore. I believe people just simply are greedy. And if you give somebody or put somebody in the wrong predicament, they're going to probably steal, cheat, lie for money. I was having a conversation with my friend. And we had a misunderstanding. I'm probably going to do a conversation touch on this on Thursday. His interpretation of the Bible in regards of when Christ says, "Blessed be the poor in spirit," the meek. Excuse me. Blessed be the meek, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. His interpretation, and I want to add that it's a good interpretation. I was challenging it, but he has a good point. Is that the term meek just simply mean people that are of the lowest demographic of society. Not the smartest, not the most sophisticated, not the most smartest people. My interpretation of the term meek is humble. But we went into the Hebrew and the Greek, and especially the Hebrew, I was kind of surprised. I think the guy has a point. So I want to touch on that on Thursday. I want to expand upon that. I want to bring both definition. Because I believe it's meek. And the way I interpret that is that the meekest people in the world are usually the poor people, the homeless people. That's what the word poor in spirit. I think Christ also said that, poor in spirit. Some people argue what that means too. Is it what because the word poor means like a beggar in spirit. And some people say in spirit, meaning you're begging for spiritual things. Other people will say that you are a beggar or in spirit or in personality, in essence, because poor people are humble in generally speaking. So we're going to probably discuss that maybe Thursday on that. Lonely, lowly, right? Lowly, right, and things of that nature. But that demographic are not, that demographic of people, the lower tier of society, are a pain in the ass. Excuse me to say that. They're a pain in the butt. Broken homes, homelessness, mental illness, depression, overly emotional, men and women. So we gotta, if my friend was right, and I believe he may be, we're in trouble. We got a lot of work to do. So we're gonna discuss that maybe on Thursday. And, I was having a conversation today. I was going to work, and then there was a Jehovah's Witness, and he was trying to, sell me his thing. And I was like, yeah. He showed me the thing. Hey, you know about the watchtower? I was like, yeah, I used to be a pastor for 10 years. He's like, well, what happened? And he said, well, long story. I said, well, read Matthew 24. He didn't do it to the end. The son will be saved, brother. God calls you, you got to answer. And I was like, I understand that, but it's a long story. We'll talk later. And, I think this is my calling now. I think this is at this point, this is my therapy in many ways. And I shout out to M.G.W 45. It says, humble people love to listen. And that's the angle that I'm going, but my friend was saying that it wasn't saying humble. It was saying the meek means not very sophisticated people. That God is going to, that's why Christ says that, Paul, he says that God has taken the simple to confound the wise. So he may have a point. And I'm thinking we both may be right. Humble and the bottom of the barrel of society. But let's discuss that. I want to discuss that. I think that's a conversation worth having. Because the definition, I was like, wow. And there was other scripture that he brought out. And I want you guys to vote. I want you guys to say, hey, Gabar, you're right, or he's right, or both of you guys may have a point. So Kanye, my advice to you, brother, you're a smart man. I think you're a genius in many ways, but you're a little kooky. It's fine. Get people that care about you and want your best interests around you. And I understand how you feel because, the first African-American so-called who knows that he's a Hebrew Israelite, believes he's a Hebrew Israelite, $6 billion. I'm pretty sure you can't even know who to trust. And I get it, brother. I get it. But choose your words wisely. Surround yourself with people that are your peers and your equals and want your best interest. And I would command that you guys sit down. You, Ice Cube. I know Ice Cube had that initiative, the Black initiative with the race and things of that nature. What's his name? Also, Mr. Nick Cannon. Also, I want you guys to sit down. And guess what, Kanye West? I never voted for anybody. But if you run for office and you win the nomination and all that, I'll vote for you. Why not? I didn't even vote for Trump. I never vote. I don't get involved with politics. But I will break my own rules just because I like you. And I'll support you. I'll say, vote for Kanye. Do I think you're going to win? Probably not. I don't know. But anything's possible. Doesn't matter. I'll still vote for you. Because I think this is how we have to start thinking as a people. See, I don't think our salvation is going to come from voting. But that may not mean that it cannot. Just because I may not believe that's a thing, I should not support my brother because he believes a thing. Like, for instance, a lot of brothers in the Hebrew Israelite community may say, we have to go back to Israel like right now. You have a group in Dimona believing that. They left in the 60s. I don't believe that's what we need to do, but I'll support those brothers. I'm not speaking against those brothers because we have to know how to attack and learn how to attack this a different way. Not only from a religious perspective, but also economic perspective, and also even a politics perspective. I'm not knocking somebody who is probably in our community is running for office. I'll vote for him. I know I'm going to get a lot of haters now. Oh, goodbye. Now you get in. You're selling out. You're going political. No, but what I'm saying is I'm proving a point. If we go attack it from different perspectives, economic, religiously, even also politically, and support others that are maybe not going the route that you want to go or the way you feel it should go, and we all support each other, maybe something could come out of it. So Kanye, I'm going to be praying for you. Jewish people try to understand what he's saying. Kanye, understand that even if Jewish people come out and say, yeah, we'll rule the world, which I don't believe they're going to say, and I don't believe they rule the world, or whatever it is that you believe, ain't going to change squat. Nada. And I would like for Jewish people to come together and sit down with Kanye and at least try to break the stigma of the Jewish people controlling everything. And say, hey, listen, we just united, and this is the outcome of our efforts. And I think, Mr. Yates said it right. He's jealous. Didn't we read somewhere in the Bible? Matter of fact, let me leave you guys with a scripture before I leave. Deuteronomy 32:21. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanity, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. For a fire is kindled in my anger, and shall burn into the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundation of the mountain. So God is pissed. Now, Jewish people, please don't get offended, right? Because it's like this. Who is this prophecy talking about? And you need to sympathize and empathize with the Black experience and understand that people of color, being in a scenario, always at the bottom of the barrel. So the problem lies is that, or the issue is that we always been in a scenario that we always been ignored in history, biblical history, in every sense of the word. So this scripture usually is associated with from a biblical perspective. Now, we could be wrong. This dialect. Let's have a conversation. If there's a Jewish person watching this show, reach out to me. Leave a message at the number. We'll talk. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe we're seeing this all wrong. But we view this as like, in the same way as Kanye West, a.k.a. Mr. Ye, said, yeah, I'm jealous at the Jewish people. And I got to be honest with you. I've spoke many times on this show that I've done research on my particular family that, we come out of the Sephardic Jews of Spain. Rodriguez is a Hebrew name, and my father and my family, especially from my father's side, come from the north part of Dominican Republic, which is the hotbed of Judaism in that area, free men coming from Spain, but that's a different conversation. But yeah, I get a little envious when I see the lighter-skinned people who are claiming to be Jews getting all the recognition. But what that does, it just motivates me more to not complain about you guys, but more do for me and my people. Okay? That's why I started an organization called Man Going God's Way. And help young men in how to overcome these challenges. I'm linking up, my brother David, he's helping me out with that, but I'm linking up with a lot of Latinos that are embracing the Hebrew culture and don't know where to go and how to deal with it and things of that nature. Because there's a lot of Latinos with Hebrew names and Hebrew backgrounds that don't even know it. So I'm doing my part. It just motivates me. But just trying to sympathize and empathize. This is not about hate. It's more about frustration. And when people are oppressed, they just need somebody to blame. So the more you embrace the black community, and especially those that are embracing the Hebrew community, yeah, they may curse you out in the beginning, or it's like, no, you're the enemy, but just show some love. Because a lot of you guys now are opening up to the possibility that perhaps that some of the African Americans aren't actually Hebrew Israelites. I spoke to many Jewish people that said, yeah, many African Americans are from the stock of Judah. It's out now. So let's have a conversation. And maybe out of the conversation, the tension would subside, and maybe we could start having a conversation and maybe have some form of respect. We might not end up being so unified as we think we're going to be, but we will be less divided than we were before we had that sit down. I hope I made sense. I hope you guys enjoyed what I was saying. I didn't mean to offend anybody. I'm just speaking my mind. If you agree, disagree, make sure you send an email to IAMFITPodcast at gmail.com, IAMFITPodcast@gmail.com. Leave a message at 646-450-2013. You can leave a message. I usually check the message if you have any ideas for any show, or just comment, good, bad, and indifferent. Things you agree, you disagree, and so forth, so on. Brother Travis, I got your message in regards of want to defend the life insurance. I know some people were saying, oh, life insurance is a scam. I want to maybe bring you back with some people that may disagree. We could have a dialect, or maybe you could bring somebody else to discuss it. I don't believe it. I think it is a way to bring generational wealth and to have security for your retirement and other things. But other people may disagree. But is embracing the debate, embracing the disagreement, embracing the discussion is how we're going to get to the bottom of things. Not ignoring, not dismissing. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope I didn't offend anybody. And may God keep you and watch over you. Shalom and peace.